Northside Warner-Robins schedule release. All right, man. Back by popular demand. Y'all been hitting me up with these schedule releases, man. Y'all been liking these videos, so let's get into it. All right. Northside Warner-Robins, a team I've been down. I've got a chance to see them in person. Drop their schedule. Okay, so they're going to have, obviously, their spring game at Peach County at Trojan Stadium on May 15th. Should be a pretty good one to see where both of those teams are. I've already dropped the video on Peach County and what they have coming back and what the team's going to look like next year. Then they're going to play Perry. Perry had a trying season a little bit last year. 4-7, 2-3, obviously, in the region. For Perry, some of their biggest returning starters is going to be Dakari Felder Jr., obviously had a pretty productive season at wide receiver last year. And then they're going to have to replace Decorian Daniels, who obviously moves on. He was a senior. The name to know there for the running back position is going to be Cam Oliver. He's going to be a dog, definitely one that you need to pay attention to on that side of the ball. Defensively, though, Perry is replacing a lot of their talent from a season ago. A lot of guys graduating and are moving on, obviously, to the next level, man. So Perry's going to replace a lot at that point. That won't be an easy game. Whenever you go to Perry and you play a team like that, it's always tough. We know a couple years back, you look at Houston County when Antoine Hill was there, going to Perry, and how obviously rowdy their fan base can be. So that won't be an easy season opener. Perry's always obviously a tough and viable opponent. Then they play Eagles Landing. Eagles Landing had a pretty good year this past year. Started off the season pretty hot. I know they tapered off a little bit, but they're going to have some young thoroughbreds, some young guys coming up through their program that's going to continue to get better and better. So that one at home, that would be a pretty intriguing one to see if Eagles Landing can repeat some of their success from 2025. Then they play at Mays. Mays has his special cornerback that plays for C1N. He plays quarterback for them, but can Mays get back to that level of relevancy we seen a few years ago, right? When they had Quintavious Johnson, who's now at Georgia playing both sides of the ball, edge rusher, quarterback, right? Do they have enough talent around some of those pieces that they have in place in order to make a different run this year? That remains to be seen. But Mays, when they're good, the whole, obviously, state in Atlanta Public Schools is pretty good. So that's going to be a matchup to watch for. Won't be easy, going to the road to play Mays, but a pretty good game to see where you're at. Then they play at home against Warner-Robins. Warner-Robins had a pretty good year this past season. Warner-Robins went 7-5 and 3-2 in their region. And like I said, this is a team that we've been looking at to see if they could take the next level with the new head coach. Obviously, he's been in for a few years now. And Shane Sams, obviously seeing the difference now of the team and the roster and everything like that, man. But they're going to have to replace Israel Goins. Israel Goins was a pretty good wide receiver for them last year. He graduated this past season. A few names to know there is true freshman Tavon Brown. He will be a sophomore this upcoming season unless he transfer. I didn't see anything, though. But he's going to be obviously one to watch. And then you got rising junior Jaden Hill at the running back spot. So those are going to be some playmakers on offense you got to watch out for this season for Warner-Robins. Can they repeat the success? We will find out. And then the next part I love, y'all, is that Miller, Georgia, what they did this year was they scheduled a lot of opponents, like obviously in the metro Atlanta area, right? Whether they're coming up here, or whether Metro Atlanta teams are coming down there, right? That game against Westlake is a really good game right before you play your region play and you get that bye week, right? See where you at, new head coach. We know obviously what Kevin Whitley has been able to do in his career, how he's been leading teams. He's back on the high school ranks. Obviously, that's big time. I think that does a lot for them, them coming back. And they've always had talented guys. Look at Avion Terrell, AJ Terrell. So many elite players have come through that Westlake program. Now can they get to a spot where they're getting winning at a high level, right? Consistently making the playoffs and making deep runs, going to state championships, going past different rounds of the playoffs. That's going to be a good test to see where Northside Warner-Robins is at that point in the year. Then they got to go at Veterans, pretty much playing near Houston County. That's where Freedom Field is. Trey Bird is going to be the name to know there, right? Quarterback, 2028. He'll be a rising junior. Dude's a stud. He not only can run the ball, he can also throw it at a very high level. Very underrated quarterback in that class, in my humble opinion. He will be one to watch in that one when they go to play at Veterans. So then they get another bye week before, obviously, the gauntlet of a region schedule. So definitely not easy, but at least they get a couple of weeks in there. They can rest their bodies and get right for this, obviously, region's play. So then they're going to play, obviously, at Tiff County, at Brody Field. Tiff County, we know, had a better season this past year. It's a program that's improving, to say the least. A program that's improving and trying to take that next step and not kind of be in that dwindle cellar of a program. Then you have Lee County. Lee County, obviously, what they've been doing the last few years. So a few names I haven't mentioned besides Jaden Upshaw. They also have Carter Blackwell. Carter Blackwell was really good when I got a chance to see him against Langston Hughes last year. He is returning back. Lee County also brings back Jordan Bush, right? The biggest question is they're going to have to place their quarterback. Who's going to be the new quarterback for Lee County? Is he competent enough to lead this team? That's their biggest question. But they return a lot of the playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. So Lee County should be right back in that same spot they were last year. Then you got at Coffee. When you play Coffee, and I'm mentioning it obviously in my next video when I break down their schedule, Bobby Reynolds, 2028 running back is the name to know there. Dude's a stud. I think I mentioned him as one of my top 2028 running backs. Dude plays at a high level. Do you have a plan to slow him down and not allow him to go off? And then you play Houston County. We know about Gray Maxwell. We know about the weapons they have. You know what I'm saying? We know about Zion Paul, all the weapons they got on both sides of the ball. Houston County is going to be good again, I think, this upcoming year. Good thing for you, this game's at home. You don't have to play this one on the road. They got to come to your stadium. And then last but not least, the state champion of them all. The team will look a little bit different, but they still got Jabari Watkins. They still got pieces on both sides of the ball that's going to play at a high level. So TCC is never easy. But the good thing this year for Northside Warner-Robins, both of your games, your toughest games, are at home. You know what I'm saying? Or really, all of your region games, all your toughest region games are at home this year. Lee County, Houston County, Thomas County Central. You can't beat that. They got to come to your house, your stadium, and come and beat you on your field and your turf. Right? So that obviously says a lot to you having to go on the road and travel. They got to come see you. Overall, I would say Coach Boone cooked with his schedule. Is it easy? Not at all. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. He's trying to build something there and get a program back to where they used to be at. It's tough to say, you know what I'm saying, with obviously how tough of a region they have. But I'm gonna be modest, y'all, and I'm gonna go 5-5. I'm gonna go 5-5. And it's not to be disrespectful to Northside Warner-Robins. I just know it takes time to build the pieces that he wants to build. They got studs like Elijah Patman, Amari Fountain, who's going to South Carolina. Patman's going to Texas A&M. On the offensive side of the ball, you have to watch out for J.D. Garman. That's the next one coming up at the running back spot. I'm telling you, dude's a dog. Dude is different. Definitely one to know about, and one that's going to burst onto the scene and shock a lot of people. Came in as an 8th grader and dominated in spring practice last year when I went down there. So they got a stud down there. Only reason I say 5-5, I feel like they could get big wins. I feel like they can go in there and beat Perry. I feel like they could beat Eagles Landing and Mays, right? They probably could potentially upset Westlake at home, right? The region play may be a little bit tougher, right? Veterans kind of up in the air. Tiff County up in the air, but those are games they can win. So I say 5-5 because I know the region is tough. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's a rebuild year for Coach Boone. They went 1-9 last year. I think going semi-500 and then you build off of that is definitely big time. And again, it's not to be a knock on Northside Warner-Robins. I like the program. I like the team. Love Coach Boone. I just think it takes time to build programs like this. We're kind of going from not necessarily ground up, but you're trying to retool the team. You're trying to obviously infect them with winning and show them, hey, this is all about team. All of that is a process. Coach Boone's the guy to do it. He's done it before. But I think to expect them to say, oh, they're going to win 7-8 games in the second year, that's tough. Can they do it? Sure. But with that region, with Lee County, Houston County, and TCC, won't be easy, man. So that's why I say 5-5. In my humble opinion of what they're going to be able to do this upcoming year. But that is a win, you know, in my opinion. And I could still possibly get you even in the postseason. So y'all comment down below how many games does Northside Warner-Robins win this year.